The stage lights shone straight into my eyes, creating shimmering bokeh halos behind me. My hands trembled slightly as I lifted the crystal architecture trophy. I should have felt proud, yet my gaze slipped toward the architectural model nearby, the project that had won me this award. And as always, instead of seeing its beautiful whole, I fixated on one tiny corner, a flaw almost invisible to anyone else, a crack so small it shouldn't matter. But to me, it became everything. That night, I returned to the office, a minimalist space, clean to the point of being emotionless. Under the desk lamp, the large blueprint lay open. I picked up my technical pen, hesitating over a line no one but me believed needed fixing. When I looked up, my reflection stared back from the black glass window, exhausted, hollow, without a trace of satisfaction. I went home, sat in my dim apartment, scrolling through an article praising my project. My fingers scrolled downward without care. When I tapped the screen off, the black mirror showed only a face devoid of emotion. I set the tablet down, and in that motion, I saw myself, empty, lost. One morning, I walked down a quiet tree-lined street. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, dancing gently across the pavement. And then, I saw it, a small pottery shop, its wooden door slightly ajar, warm and strangely inviting inside. I stopped for a long moment, then pushed the door open. Inside, an elderly woman, Elara, was shaping clay on a spinning wheel. Her wrinkled hands moved gently, molding the soft clay. She looked up and smiled at me with an expression I couldn't remember receiving from anyone. Welcoming, without judgment. I stood there silently, watching the way her hands shaped the formless clay into a slightly uneven but strangely beautiful vase. Elara lifted it with care, admiring it like a child. Imperfect, but alive. Honest. We drank tea together in silence. She ran her fingers over the rough ceramic cup, loving each little crack as if they were stories. Without a single lecture, everything she did seemed to say, imperfection has a soul. I looked down at my cup. For the first time in months, I thought, maybe I had been too harsh on myself. I began to change, starting with the smallest things, pouring water to brew coffee, waiting for each drop to fall, cleaning my desk, reorganizing my drawings, breathing. Then I began to sketch again, freer, less rigid, and joy, small as a spark, returned. I brought my sketchbook to the pottery shop. Elara looked through the drawings, nodding, pointing out the beauty I hadn't seen. She handed me a lump of clay. With my own hands, I shaped something clumsy. But when I held it in my palms, I truly smiled. It wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Months later, I returned to the world of architecture, a large meeting room, a new urban project, pressure like a heavy stone. When the familiar panic crept in, I noticed the small ceramic cup Elara had given me, sitting on my office windowsill. I picked it up, feeling the rough surface, and I could breathe again. I laid out my new designs, confident, bold, limitless. I worked all night until the first light seeped through the windows. And when I looked at the finished design, I saw a smile on my reflected face, a smile I had lost long ago. I presented before the council. I saw Elara at the back of the room, smiling at me. Thanks to her, I no longer feared the cracks within myself. Applause erupted. The project was approved. People shook my hand, congratulating me. But what made me happiest wasn't the success. It was the feeling that I had finally returned to myself. Now, I stand before the construction site, the steel frame rising into the sky like a poem made of metal. Elara stands beside me. A gentle breeze passes. I look at her and smile with all my gratitude. On my desk now are new models, my own ceramic cup, and a piece I had never known. And one afternoon, sitting before the city skyline, sipping coffee from my imperfect cup, I saw myself, enough, complete, in my own way. When I returned to the pottery shop, Elara placed her hand over mine as I shaped a new block of clay. 2 generations, 2 pairs of hands, turning a single wheel together. The clay spun, imperfect, but full of life. The image faded softly, and I smile. If this story has touched your heart, don't let the journey end here. Come back and listen to the stories in this collection, again and again. Let each message gently sink into your subconscious, becoming a part of you, guiding you toward bigger dreams and small, steady steps every day. And if you believe in growth, hope, and the power to change your life, hit like, share, and subscribe. Your small action today could spread inspiration to thousands of others, people who are also searching for light and motivation to bring their dreams to life. This is Daily Wisdom Stories, where small stories plant seeds of inner awakening. See you in the next chapters of this journey.